What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. Big news, right? Today, big news. We got the Ethereum ETF approved, and it kind of made some things click for me, right? As to why Bitcoin's ETF might have been so positive. It's not that there's so much demand for Bitcoin seeing an ETF, and to each their own, whatever you believe. It's everybody's got a different opinion, but I think Bitcoin ETF being approved, what's big about that, why it was such a big deal, and why crypto has done well since then. It did sell off rather immediately after the ETF was approved, and then we found our low rather immediately after that, and then started to move up. Had a really bullish time afterwards. But the reason why it was so bullish, all in all, is because Bitcoin getting the ETF approval was the green light for other cryptos to get the ETF approval, right? And Ethereum was the next domino to fall. Obviously, it was. What's the next one? What's the next one? There's going to be more. There's more. Clearly, it doesn't stop here. There's more interest, okay? I just want to say I'm personally not a fan of the ETFs. I know that's controversial. I know everybody's like, give me these ETFs, govern me harder. But no, that's not. These derivatives, these paper cryptos, essentially is what they are. It gets away from the real point of what crypto is supposed to be, and it puts crypto in a more centralized. It puts them in the form of a custodianship, right? And that's not what crypto is meant to be. It's meant to be centralized. So the more ETFs that come along, actually, the worse it is as far as like the freedom of money goes for all of us. But while we're all just sipping the Kool-Aid and asking for the financial institutions to literally custodialize all of our crypto assets, and we're just like being like, go ahead, do it. We just care about the money to go up, That's cool. Guess what, guys? The prices would go up. We don't need these ETFs. We don't need these ETFs. The ETFs need us. They've got us all hooked by the balls. They've got us all hooked in believing that these ETFs, we need these ETFs to make the bull cycle go up, to be good. No, we don't. They need our crypto. These custodians, these institutions, they need our crypto is what they need. And they've made us believe that we need them. And it's not. It's the other way around, I promise you. But enough of my own personal philosophical beliefs. It's not really philosophical, but what does it mean? What does the ETF approval mean? I mean, it's probably going to mean good things for the price because everybody's interpreting it in a good way. It's not necessarily a bad thing, from a fundamental perspective as far as like price growth goes. From a fundamental perspective of like what the essence of crypto is, I think it is a terrible thing. But, c'est la vie, hear me cry, who cares, right? A lot of volume came in. The last time that we saw an ETF approved in crypto, the only time that we saw an ETF approved in crypto was in Bitcoin, and it was this day here where we saw from a high to a low point, we dropped 21% in the course of, that was January 11th to January 23rd. So in the course of 12 days, we dropped about 2% a day there, right? A little bit less than 2% a day. Ethereum perhaps has a similar reaction. Oh, SUD. I'm like, why is it being weird? USD. There we go. Perhaps the remainder of this month and even the beginning of next month, we go down. I don't know. We did drop 11% today already. We do have high volume. And the last ETF, all in all, even though we did sell off initially, it was perceived as a positive thing. I think that's undeniable now. If we were to move down, perhaps we hold this previous high. If Ethereum were to move down 20%, that put it back down its lows. That would be interesting, man. That'd be pretty damn interesting. I don't think that it does, but that would be pretty interesting. And being that it is Ethereum, it's got a lower cap. It could drop lower. Who knows? But the news is out, right? There's that old saying, buy the hype, sell the news. Well, the hype for the ETF being approved was down here. It was really here now. The news has come out. So expect a drop over the coming week. Expect a drop. It probably happens, but how far does it go down? I'm not entirely sure. From the high to low. If not, if we don't sell the news, it's not 100% guaranteed that we will. Sometimes we don't. This could be one of those times, but we did pull back yesterday, tipping the 618. That is a good look. The daily RSI is in a very bullish position right now. Let's look at the 4 hour just to get a reference here. Bearish divergence presenting itself. Yeah. but you already had your move down. You already had, so I mean, it's there, but not really. What you have is hidden bullish divergence where you have higher or lower lows there with higher lows, and your 4 hour all in all looks very, very bullish. I would say you look like immediately today or tomorrow you want to make another drive up. So perhaps I'm wrong in assuming that over the next week you move down. Maybe we will have a positive reaction with this sell the news event, and maybe it's not. Maybe we already had our sell the news event happen. Maybe that was it. That just a little bit. Maybe that was it. Perhaps we are moving up here. Maybe the idea was that a lot of people said it would get approved, but maybe there was a more amount of people who were expecting it not to get approved. And now that it is approved, you're getting a buy the news event because it's the opposite of what was interpreted. I feel like a lot of people expected it though. I've seen the polls around X and on YouTube with like tens of thousands of people voting. A lot of people expected that this ETF would get approved, but 4,500 to 5,100 is your next expected target. Yes, your next expected target. Being that we're on the daily here, looking at that here, we could see that happen in June or July, I think. I really think we could, especially if Bitcoin's making a run toward 100K, which I think it will in July. I think it will. If it's not July, I mean sometime this year, I think it will. I could see Ethereum reaching 4,500 to 5,100 by the end of this year as well. Looking at, and that's just the relative terms, right? If we're looking at the all-time high to the cycle low, Ethereum's minimum target when it breaks its all-time high would actually be $7,700, and that's very close to your 2618 up here. I think $7,500 to $8,000 is where you're going to go, if not by the end of this year, sometime in Q1 or Q2 next year. And I'm personally leaning toward Q1 or Q2 of next year. I think by the end of this year, Ethereum, because it has been lackluster, and the ETF got approved, everyone's bullish on it, but I think once this news died down, Ethereum will go back to being the backseat driver of this cycle. It's kind of been forgotten about. This ETF has given it some new light, but I'm not saying Ethereum won't grow. I do think it will grow. I just think that the extent of its growth in the short term, it might do what Bitcoin did, right? It breaks above its all-time highs, and then it'll consolidate a little bit around there. Perhaps it does make a run toward these prices by the end of the year. It is possible. But if we do that, if Ethereum's up here by the end of this year, you guys, what would that mean for the rest of the cycle? Like that'd be pretty crazy. Like what, for the rest of the cycle, it's only going to grow, like, I mean, it would only do a 2x. I don't think it's going to see a 14. Could it see a 14K price? What would the market cap be? I don't think it would. I think 10K is like the high that I've given for it, but it's 456 billion right now. 456 billion. That would be a 900 billion. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose you could. I suppose you could move to 14K. Maybe you could, actually. I don't know. Maybe you see 7 to 8K by the end of this year, and then for the rest of the cycle, you work your way up to 14K. I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me, but who knows? I don't know. I keep saying I don't know, and I'm getting tired of it. I hope you guys are too. The weekly RSI does look bullish. The daily and the 4-hour RSIs look bullish too. So generally speaking, on an event like this, I would expect you to move down, but I'm not going to lie. I think you're going to move up. If you move down from here, you could move as low as about 32 to 3,300. You're at 3,800 now, so that's a little bit of a dip, and that could happen over the coming weeks because of the sell the news event. But if that's wrong, I don't know if that will hold to be accurate. I think you will move up. You could expect over the coming weeks to months to move up to about 4,500 to 5,100. You're at 3,800 now, so that's it. That's all I got to say. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. That's all I got to say. Take care. Bye-bye.